wasallam. My brothers and sisters, from Surah Isra, I will choose the first verse to talk about today. I actually came prepared to talk about something different, but I'll talk about that tomorrow, because that's more relevant to younger children who will be here tomorrow, because it's Friday. So inshallah in the evening I'll talk about that. But today, the first verse. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. This verse describes Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam's journey from his house in Mecca to Bayt al-Maqdis, and then all the way to the heavens, to having a conversation with Allah and coming back on this earth in the same night, known as Isra wal-Mi'raj. Limitless is the glory to whom who transported his servant by night from the inviolable house of worship in Mecca to the remote house of worship in Jerusalem, the environment of which and the surrounding areas of which has been blessed, so that we might show him some of our signs, for verily he alone is all hearing and all seeing. My brothers and sisters, Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his time in Mecca, did this Isra wal-Mi'raj journey, as we know, from his home in Mecca. He went to Jerusalem, Al-Aqsa, and then from there he went to seventh of the heavens, had a conversation with Allah and came back. The importance of this is very much stated in the statements of the companions of the time, and the historians who have written about this story. That Abu Jahl and others, when they heard this, they said, "Oh, Muhammad has completely gone mad now. He's claiming to have traveled from here all the way to Jerusalem and then has gone to the heavens and come back. He must have completely lost it." That was the story that they started highlighting and spreading. They went to Abu Bakr and said, "Ya Abu Bakr, did you hear what Muhammad is saying? Your friend, the one you claim to be so good and so intelligent and so pious, he's gone completely mad. He's claiming to have traveled from here to Jerusalem, from Jerusalem to the seventh of the heavens, had a conversation with Allah and come back. How is that even possible? I think you now need to dissociate yourself. A man of honor like yourself should not have anything to do with Muhammad. Leave him." Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, "Just stop for a second. What did you say? Did you say Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said this?" They said, "Yes, he said this." Abu Bakr said, "If Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said this, then it must be true. I believe it." And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, from there on, gave him the title Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the one who is a witness to the truth. Witness to the truth. Never lies, never deviates from the truth. We as Muslims should not fall victim of those who are secular, who are atheists, who are agnostic, who cast doubt amongst Muslims, saying it is not possible. Well, whether it is possible or not possible, the first evidence of its possibility is that it is told in the Quran. And Quran is the word of Allah, a book which contains no doubt, a book that contains no mistakes, a book that contains no contradictions, a book that contains scientific knowledge, a book that contains historical knowledge, a book that gives out life and guidance to every aspect of life without a single mistake. If that's a book Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not write, it must have come from Allah. And if it's come from Allah, it must be true. And if it's true, if the Quran is saying Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam went from Mecca to Isra and to Mi'raj, it must be true. That's the evidence of the Muslims first. We don't doubt, because Quran is the word of Allah. You disprove the Quran, my entire faith is destroyed. But you can't disprove the Quran. I don't only challenge my life. Whole of Islam hinges its claim on the Quran. The Quran is the word of Allah, number one. Number two, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam traveled from this world on an animal, described as an animal, appeared as an animal. The Arabic word used is buraq. And we know electricity is described as the same, in the same word, with the same word. Now if the speed of lightning is so fast, how many seconds does it take for the sun's light to come to this earth? Few seconds. It is so fast that in blink of an eye, the earth is lit by the sun's light. And if Allah chose an animal with the speed speedier than the speed of light, surely Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam could have traveled anywhere he wanted if sun takes only a few seconds to light up this earth? And the third and the most important evidence. What is it that Rasulullah said that is problematic from his journey? What is it? He came back and told us that Allah has made for us 5 daily prayers and obligations. What's the problem with that? Allah gave you an eye and gave him a tour of heaven and the hell so that he would see with his own eyes what awaits people. What's wrong with that? What he brought with him is good news. What he brought with him is good news for all of us. People who don't like good news have a problem with the Isra and Mi'raj. And my brothers and sisters, second issue that I want to raise in my reminder today is Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying He not only went from Mecca to Masjid al-Aqsa, Bayt al-Maqdis as we know, but the environment in which Al-Aqsa lies, Bayt al-Maqdis lies, is an environment which is blessed by Allah. Blessed by Allah, and yet we see so much bloodshed today, so much corruption and evil in that particular area of the world, so much trouble in that world. You may be wondering, well, we thought it was supposed to be blessed. Yes, it is only blessed when you and I, the blessed ones, are in control of the blessed land. When it is in the hands of people who don't understand the blessings, it is in the hands of those people who perpetrate genocide against people and tell the world it is not genocide. It is on the hands of a people who occupy and steal the land of other people. Of course, it cannot be, the blessing cannot be enjoyed under such circumstances. A few days ago, a rabbi, his name is Shmuley, from America, he said, apparently the Quran gives this land to the Zionists, to the Jewish people. This is God-given land. Well, Mr. Shmuley, we've got a message for you. Conveniently you quote the Quran, but you forget the quote, the Quran that talks about the reason why Allah, who gave you a promise of this land, He cancelled that very promise because you betrayed the message of Allah. You killed the prophets of Allah. You became treacherous to the words of Allah. You spread corruption on this earth, and you continue doing so. That's why that promise has been cancelled, and you no longer are deserving and worthy of that promised land. That land comes with a promise, yes, but comes with condition. The condition is that you must be righteous people. You must be good people. You must be God-fearing people. You must be promoting morality and decency in the world, not corruption, fitna and fasad. If you spread fitna and fasad, you cannot have that land. And the audacity of a people who claim that land is theirs. A bunch of people who claim that land is theirs. Most of them are secular, using God's word to justify their genocide, and yet they don't believe in God. They don't believe in Allah. They deny Allah in the first place. Do not ever fall victim of such propaganda, such lies and such nonsense. Don't let anyone silence you. Don't let anyone silence you from speaking the truth. The Quran speaks the truth. That land is blessed. Yes, of course. Prophet of Allah went from that land to the seventh of the heavens. That land received Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, our beloved Prophet of Allah. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Isa alayhi salatu wasalam came to that land. Many prophets, Sulaiman, Dawood, and many others came to that land. That's why that land is blessed. And it will remain blessed only when good people rule it. Decent people rule it. Not murderers, not thieves, not corrupt rulers. Wallahi, my brothers and sisters, it makes me very upset to see what's going on in Palestine today. The genocide of the Palestinians. We haven't spoken about it for a few days. You think we've forgotten it? No, we haven't forgotten it. In the month of Ramadan, we're busy asking Allah to forgive us for our failures, that we could not protect our brothers and sisters in Palestine. We're busy asking Allah to forgive us for betraying the Ummah, for not standing with the Palestinians. We're busy asking Allah to not hold us accountable on the Day of Judgment for our collective failure to protect this Ummah. But when one day, inshallah, Palestine will become free, one day when Al-Aqsa will become free in the hands of those people who deserve it, inshallah. That day is not very far away. And this verse is a reminder. Allah took us, our Prophet, from that land, Mecca to Jerusalem, to seventh of the heavens, to connect up these three holy lands. My brothers and sisters, I remind you the importance of these lands. May Allah bless us all, protect us, keep us on the right path, keep us on the straight path, and forgive us for our failures. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.